Today, our topic is the Stoic Guide to Inner Peace. Life is full of challenges, and sometimes it feels like the world is against us. But the ancient philosophy of Stoicism teaches us that inner peace is not something we find outside ourselves. It is something we create within. Stoicism is not about ignoring emotions or pretending everything is fine. It is about understanding what we can control and what we cannot, and focusing our energy on the things that truly matter. The Stoics believe that the key to a peaceful life is to accept the things we cannot change and to work on the things we can. This idea is simple, but it is not always easy to follow. Let's explore how we can apply Stoic principles to find inner peace in our daily lives. First, we need to understand the difference between what is in our control and what is not. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control, and others are not." This is one of the most important lessons of Stoicism. We cannot control the weather, the actions of others, or the past. But we can control our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions. When we focus on what we can control, we stop wasting energy on things that are beyond our power. For example, if someone says something unkind to us, we cannot control their words, but we can control how we respond. We can choose to let their words hurt us, or we can choose to remain calm and not let their negativity affect us. This is the first step to inner peace, focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. Another important Stoic principle is to accept the nature of life. Life is unpredictable, and it is full of ups and downs. The Stoics believed that suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. When we expect life to be perfect, we set ourselves up for disappointment. But when we accept that challenges are a natural part of life, we can face them with a calm and steady mind. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realizes this, and you will find strength." This means that even in difficult times, we can find peace by focusing on our own thoughts and attitudes. Instead of complaining about the situation, we can ask ourselves, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger? This shift in perspective can help us find meaning and purpose even in the hardest moments. Stoicism also teaches us to practice gratitude. It is easy to focus on what we lack or what is going wrong in our lives. But when we take a moment to appreciate what we have, we can find contentment and peace. The Stoics believe that everything we have is a gift, and nothing is guaranteed. By practicing gratitude, we remind ourselves of the good things in our lives, even when times are tough. For example, instead of complaining about a rainy day, we can be grateful for the water that nourishes the earth. Instead of focusing on what we don't have, we can appreciate what we do have. This simple practice can help us feel more at peace with our lives, no matter what challenges we face. Another key Stoic idea is to live in the present moment. We often spend too much time worrying about the future or regretting the past. But the truth is, the only moment we truly have is the present. The Stoics believe that we should focus on the here and now, because that is where we have the power to act. When we live in the present, we can fully experience life and make the most of every moment. For example, instead of worrying about what might happen tomorrow, we can focus on what we can do today to make our lives better. This doesn't mean we should ignore the future or forget the past, but we should not let them control us. By living in the present, we can find peace and clarity. Stoicism also teaches us to be mindful of our desires. The Stoics believe that many of our problems come from wanting things that are not within our control. For example, we might want fame, wealth, or the approval of others. But these things are not guaranteed, and when we base our happiness on them, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, the Stoics encourage us to focus on virtues like wisdom, courage, and self-discipline. These are things that we can control, and they lead to true fulfillment. When we let go of unnecessary desires and focus on what truly matters, we can find inner peace. Another important Stoic practice is to prepare for adversity. The Stoics believe that by imagining the worst-case scenario, we can prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally for whatever life throws at us. This practice is called Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. For example, if we imagine losing our job or facing a serious illness, we can think about how we would handle it. This doesn't mean we should live in fear or expect the worst, but by preparing ourselves, we can face challenges with courage and resilience. When we know that we can handle difficult situations, we feel more at peace, even in uncertain times. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own character. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from being a good person and living in accordance with our values. Instead of comparing ourselves to others or seeking external validation, we should focus on becoming the best version of ourselves. This means being honest, kind, and compassionate, even when it is difficult. It also means taking responsibility for our actions and learning from our mistakes. When we focus on our own character, we can find a deep sense of peace and fulfillment, because we know that we are living with integrity. In conclusion, the Stoic guide to inner peace is about focusing on what we can control, accepting the nature of life, practicing gratitude, living in the present, being mindful of our desires, preparing for adversity, and focusing on our own character. These principles may seem simple, but they require practice and dedication. Inner peace is not something that happens overnight. It is a journey. But by applying these Stoic ideas to our daily lives, we can find a sense of calm and strength, even in the face of challenges. Remember, the key to inner peace is not in the world around us, but within us. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested. Let us invest our time wisely, focusing on what truly matters, and find the peace that comes from living a Stoic life.